Hi friends, it's me Lois from Wild Child Mercantile, and I just wanted to make this fun, quick little patriotic craft using this piece of pallet wood. I had a long piece and I asked my husband to break it up into little pieces. So I'm using antique parchment, true blue, and cherry red from Deco Art to paint our pieces. This is a kit that's available in my Etsy store. And I'm just using little pieces of a sponge to paint the colors on there. You could easily do this with just the stained wood, just staining the wood, or you can do more of like a deep navy blue with maybe like a rust red to give it more of a primitive feel. I just am loving this rustic flag kit with all the looks like the tatteredness of the flag, and the blue part has the stars all cut out in it, and so that's a nice touch where you don't have to paint all the 50 different stars by themselves. I did have to look up whether it was red on top or white on top. I forgot. I was in ROTC in high school and should have remembered that, but it is red, by the way. And so I was just getting all my pieces painted up to put on our board. We're just going to use that piece of pallet wood as our surface to add this kit to. So the next step is getting our tight Bond Quick and Thick on there. I just felt like it was going to be a good glue. You could use wood glue or whatever your preferred type of glue is. Since that wood is a rough surface, I just kind of thought the Quick and Thick would do good on there. So we are just putting our kit together as it goes with our glue. I'm sorry if you hear any background noise. I am recording this sitting in my car on my lunch break, and so it's hard to eliminate all of the noise. So thank you for your grace. But I was just brushing the glue on because I am kind of a stickler and can't stand to see glue over on when it squeezes out on the edges. And so I tend to use paint brushes or something like that in order to keep that to a minimum. I think it just makes your project look more clean if you can't see the glue. And especially on that blue part with all those stars, I was worried about the glue squeezing through those holes, and so that was ultimately my goal for using the paintbrush. And I did realize towards the end that I had messed up and had originally painted my little bottom piece white, and so I had went back and painted it red to correct my mistake, so we would be accurate on our stripes. I sometimes can be a stickler for details, even on these rustic projects. I want them to be as correct as possible. And then I just used my dark sealing wax from Kills that I've had for 100 years, and just went around the edges and tried to kind of age them a little bit. I didn't go overboard, but just to give it a little bit more dimension and a little more of a rustic feel. I could have probably gone a little bit heavier on it since it is so rustic, but I did keep it rather light and just added some dimension. So then we are going to be using a piece of rusty wire as our hanger, which is my preferred way, especially with these rustic wood and pallet wood projects. I have this roll of rusty baling wire that my husband brought me, and I've used it for the last 2 years, and you can barely even tell I've used it. But I used my Dremel to drill some holes in the wood. I didn't want you to have to listen to all that, so I skipped through that and just feed my wire in from the back and then bend it over. That way our wire sits against the wall that it's hanging on and it doesn't flop any, and just makes it have a nice fit tight against the wall. And then I just use my wire cutters to kind of twist the wire to help it stay in place. And it also, to me, adds to that rusticness of it, where you can see the hanging mechanism of the whole thing. And there's no rhyme or reason to it. I just twist it and twirl it and get it to where I like it. And it just hangs nicely that way, I feel. And the rusted wire goes wonderful with the rusticness of the pallet wood. And there we are. There's our finished project. Simple, plain and simple, but has a nice impact. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you all.